Welcome back to the final week of Friday Night Fights for this season 11. Let's see, we're taking a look at season 11, Division 4D, week 13, and with me as always is Charles.
Hello, let's end this season on a high note.
Yeah, hopefully we do. It's been a pretty good season so far. A lot of ups and downs. A lot of good people in this division. I like all but two of you. So I won't say who, but you keep that in mind in case we're in the same division next season. Charles, anything else interesting you want to talk to before we get into the scorecards?
Oh, let's just go. It came right down to the wire. We should talk about that.
Let's just get right into it. All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come right back and we'll take a look at the scorecards. Welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is our scorecard where we take a look at last week's results, how they went, who's up, who's down, who's going places. Charles, who was our matchup of the week last week?
Bring Out Your Undead versus Mass Boats. We're deciding the Challenger Cup spot.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Looks like Bring Out Your Undead won 1-0 against the Mass Boats. Now, how did that affect the standings?
Oh, the Boats had an outside chance of being champion.
Okay.
But it wouldn't happen because the human team won. But that gives Random Ad the spot at the Challenger Cup.
Okay. Cool.
Instead of the Boats. So they lost the game and they lost the spot.
Oh, double dirtied him.
Yeah.
Let's see. Looks like Bring Out Your Undead held the ball 31% of the time. Now, did you happen to get to see this game?
Oh, yes.
All right, tell us about it.
So, right at the bat, the Camry team wins the coin toss. That's always a problem because you really want to be hitting those AV7 players. But they get to hit first. And the kickoff event is free bribes for everyone. And since Camry is already fouling every turn, getting a free bribe is pretty big for them. It doesn't make that much of a difference for Elves. And they get 2 casualties on the first turn on top of all that. So game goes on, the normal screening to defend against the wizard by the Camry. Lightning bolt fails on the mass boats. Sometimes you roll once, they don't always work. And then they go for a sec. They actually use red die to clear up a path. They get 1 die on the ball, get a skull rerolled into a skull. Later in the game, they succeed on a sack, but get a kind of a bad scatter. The ball stays on the ground for a while, and then the Elves actually suffered on 1 in 81, 1 in 9 block, reroll, again fail on the first action in a turn. And then they can eventually recover and score. Then on the Elves, third time they decide to pass as a first action on a turn, even not blocking on that turn, and they fail that pass. The game gets ugly again. The ball stays on the ground for a while. Teams sack each other back and forth, and the Elves try to get away with a pass, but a 3+ catch fails. And that was basically it. The Camry just swarmed the ball and it never leaves the ground, I think.
Yeah, looking at these statistics here, the Undead team, I'm sorry, the Camry team, took 0 casualties, 0 KOs, 0 deaths, and 0 interceptions. It's just kind of quite the opposite. On the other side, it was like 5 KOs and 2 casualties. So
yeah, the Elves didn't manage to use their bribe. I don't remember them fouling, and they were also not blocking that much because they were failing.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bad day for the
getting turnovers. Yeah, it started badly and it just went badly for the whole time. They managed to hang in there and try it, but that Camry team was just too solid for them
Yeah.
and that's why they're going to the Challenger Cup.
That's why they'll go, and it's a strong team. First couple seasons, Kimmery is always pretty tough. I mean, it starts to go downhill slowly, but as you know, in Division 1 is one of the best teams is an undead team, so you can make it work. And elves, I don't know, do you keep these elves around, I wonder? That'll be interesting.
Oh yeah, these guys, they have great upside as they're high elf, and they're not gonna just explode because they have AV8 linemen, so they started to look better and better as the season went on, and
yeah,
I think they're gonna stick around and be great next season.
Awesome. Let's take a look at our next game. That was Scott Pop Skavens are gonna get their admin win. Let's see, Commanders in Grief 0-2 against Dazed and Confused 0-2. Oof. That is a beatdown, but I assume it's a little bit of claw for the punchiness. Let's see, Dazed and Confused 68% ball possession, 50% occupation in the other opponent's half, 50 block to 25 blocks. It was just one of those days where you're out blocked. And let's take Commanders in Grief. Took 4 casualties and 5 KOs. I'm gonna assume that was the difference here because Dazed and Confused only took 2 casualties. Sustained.
1 casualty by the claw guy, and I imagine there's some fouling involved.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Armor holding up 71% of the time. Some dodges. Oh, these injury dice are ugly, Charles. Injury dice, his armor held up. Commanders in Grief held up 3 times. He failed 9 of them. That's just a lot. I mean, on a, what do you want for a 7 or better there for an injury instead of a stun?
Yeah.
So that's just brutal.
It seems like no permanent damage at least.
Yeah.
So they'll be looking good for next season.
And he won the uniform battle, so that's pretty important as your last game of the season. You know, you went out on an upside, yeah. Dazed and Confused, they're really stupid rolls. They didn't fail that at all. That's amazing. 14 times.
Oh, story of my life against Nurgle.
Yeah, I hate Nurgle. And the dodges were 1 for 0. Pickups 2 for 0. Man, they just had a really good game. Dazed and Confused did. Fireball 2 success, 2 failure. So he must have hit the cage.
Average.
Yeah,
that's
got
good.
Half of them down. Not too shabby. Other than that, nothing really stands out here. Just one of those games where Nurgle starts to get a little stronger and puts the beat down on you.
Oh yeah, they're looking good.
Yeah, I like both these teams though. They're fine. Let's take a look. Rebbl Cheese Thieves 1-0 win against the Grumble Grot Gorgers. Boy, that one's closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, with the new style offense from the Cheese Thieves, I imagine they just wanted to minimize damage at the end of the season. Get a win.
That's probably true. Let me see. Blocks, the Cheese Thieves actually threw more blocks, 30, or no, they took more blocks. They took 30 blocks compared to 25, so not that big a difference. 7 KOs, 2 casualties, versus 8 KOs, 2 casualties. I mean, it was pretty even all around. But of course, I'm sure the difference is the ability to move the ball. I mean,
it seems level ups for both of those blitzers on the Cheese Thieves side. That's pretty great, considering at some point they had no blitzer.
Yeah, that's true. I don't see anything that really stands out here. Fireball, he got fireballed, hit 3 of his players, 1 didn't get hurt. Yeah, it's just one of those games, but I do like that he's showing patience. The Rebbl Cheese Thieves are showing patience, scoring once, not having to run up the score 5 times, and then get on the line for 5 crushing kills. So looks like he's turned that around. And Grumble got Gorgers. They did a really good job. They had a really good season so far. So I mean, if you're playing Ogres, you can't complain. Then again,
I just feel it's weird about the Ogres that they are the stunty team that's actually high TV, so I don't understand where they fit.
Yeah, well, I have to say, if you're playing Ogres, you're just probably out there having fun. If you wanted to win and, you know, with an easy team, you would switch to something like Lizardmen or something where you can just crush people. Let's go take a look at Sweet Teeth Forever. 0-2 loss to Blitvarian Solarian. A bit of an upset, I think. Or no, was it? I can't remember who I picked. I think I picked Blitvarian.
Yeah, me neither. I actually lost my notes about about the division last week. Good. So I actually have no idea who picked it.
Oh, well, you picked Sweet Teeth Forever, then. Yeah.
I guess, maybe. Because they always surprise me. I don't know. Yeah, I might have picked them.
Let's take a look at some stats here. 66 blocks they took against the Lizardmen. Just have so many strength pieces. They always get block dice early on until everybody catches up with them. They took 1 KO and 3 casualties sustained. That one's brutal. Versus 2 KOs on the Lizards and 1 casualty sustained on that side. So obviously that's just one of those games where you just take a beat down and it just keeps going. Once you start losing players, then two turns later you're losing another player, and then 2 turns, you just like it keeps snowballing on you.
And probably a good job on the Lizardman side protecting the skinks, because if they're not taking that much damage, they are actually hitting a bunch of AV8 players and
Yep.
causing hard casualties.
And he didn't have to dodge very many. He had 6 dodges with only 1 failure, so it must have meant he kept his players safe and didn't have to get in and out of a lot of places.
Right.
Yeah, good job. Both those teams, I assume, are sticking around. Bogue Bombers 2-0 win over Draktar squad. Now, this game they got over early because I remember I did finally get a hold of the Bogue Bombers coach. Did I tell you that? I got a hold of him in Discord, and I asked him, "Hey, have you ever watched this show?" And he said, like 1 time. And so I assume he watched it, hated it, and didn't watch it again. And so I was like, "Oh, okay."
Makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't either. It's brutal. So no, he just said he didn't have some.
Too good for school.
I don't
Too
think
cool
he has
for school.
I don't think he has a mic or something, or he's never been on it. He felt uncomfortable going on a show, but he said something about like he wanted to get this win out of the way because he didn't want people to complain about him being a noob, a lucker noob or something. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if we called him lucky at the beginning. Maybe we did.
Let's follow him on the playoffs and see what happens.
Yeah, see what happens. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let me take a look at this. Go ahead. What were you saying?
I think it's probably because of the 5+ game he had against Camry. I felt like Camry did everything they could to stop that human team, and then Nuffle decided that humans will get the dice.
Yeah, so maybe that was the show you listened to, and you drove off another viewer, Charles. Jeez, Charles.
I'm always with my bad manners.
I know, you're so rude.
Losing audience by
you're driving people away. Driving them away. Yeah, I love the audience. That's why I make fun of you people. But Charles, he secretly hates everybody.
Yes.
He acts like he's nice, but he hates everybody. I don't see anything that stands out here. Just one of those games. Let's see. Bogue Bombers, armor held up, some dodging. They had a wizard. Got hit with a wizard. Oh, that's interesting. They got hit with a wizard. 3 guys succeeded. Only 1 got knocked down. So you guys stop using wizards. Use lightning bolts. Come on. What are you doing? We didn't get to see this game. He played this one pretty early. I probably could have sat and watched it, but I didn't get a chance to.
Just wanted to be a champion as soon as possible.
Put that to bed, any nonsense that was going to happen there. Last game, Beer Brawl Club Rebbl. Man, that's a mouthful. Versus the Sterling Hornets. Now, Sterling Hornets were your team, weren't they, Charles? They kind of faded.
It's been a rough season for them.
Yeah. The Dwarves held the ball 62% of the time compared to 18, which seems about right. I think the big difference here is they only took 32 blocks. They gave out 46 blocks to the Hornets, and the Hornets took 5 KOs and 4 casualties. So that sounds like one of those days where you're just standing in the wrong place and just keep getting knocked around. Let's take a look at their dodge statistics here for the Hornets. Dodge, 7 failures, 32 successes, so 82%. That's okay. That's not too shabby.
Yeah, the Hornets giving out a bit more blocks than you want against Dwarves. Yeah, maybe there's some failed dodges that happen, something that put them in bad positions, but that's too much.
The armor on the Hornets, they had 17 successful armor saves, but they failed 18 times. And then their injuries were pretty good. They successfully avoided injury 15 times, but they got hurt 4 of those times. So that's only 4 times.
The injury is pretty great, actually.
But yeah, you can't complain about that. I guess those 4 were casualty ones are ones where he took beating. That's unfortunate for him, but it happens. It's a 1-1 draw. It's a good win for the Brawl Club, I think, and a tie is not bad for the Hornets. Did you lose anybody? I don't think anybody died. So
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So they're ready for next season. They took their beating and are still standing.
They're still standing, yeah. And I think the Hornets here will get better. Dwarves will get more brawlier, but they'll have different competition. So yeah, both teams should probably stick around. I don't see a reason not to. Let's take a look at what do you want to do next, Charles? Let's take a quick look since we got a
At
little extra
the
time.
pound for pound rankings.
Yeah, hang on. Let me jump into these team rosters real quick. I just want to take a look and see. Mass bolts, they look fine. And then I just want to do something real quick here.
That Mighty Blow Blitzer of theirs is very cool. It's a cool piece. I love Mighty Blow Blitzers.
Let's look at Dazed and Confused. Now this team definitely should stick around. I mean, they've got the strength speed.
Oh no. Nurgle should always
Nurgle should
reroll.
always reroll. Good point. No, this is the team that's going places. I mean, I really like what they're doing here.
Oh yeah, that Strength 6 beast, man.
That's nice.
And they're starting to get some claws.
What about
I don't know about the guard on those Nurgle warriors. I would think damage is cooler, but he wants to win some games, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta have some guard, because otherwise you get pushed around. Let's go look at the Scott Pop Skavens. Now that's a team I thought earlier should just let it go.
Oh, we got news that the Scapop Skaven coach actually gave up and stopped playing like 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I was informed by Monard, thank you.
Alright, let's take a look at Grumble Grok then. We had our first casualty of the season. First coach. Now, Grumble Grok, I don't know. Of course, I would always reroll if I was playing Ogres, but I guess you stick with it. I mean, you've got a break tackle piece here with movement 6.
Well, remember the interview with him, right? He seems like he loves to play Ogres, so I would say keep them. They look good for Ogres.
Yeah. Let's take a look
and we will always be pulling for you because...
Oh, yeah. Every division you go to, people will be cheering for you, so...
Yeah.
Lizardmen. Nobody will be cheering for you. Let's take a look at Varian's team. So much OP. Oh, you know, his team is looking like it's way behind the curve, though. He's got 2 swords here that don't...
So?
Yeah, 2 swords here with no block at the end of the season. You want to get... Everybody on your team needs to have block by when you go into Season 2. That should be your primary goal. I know he's lost it.
Yeah, he actually had 2 deaths on Saurus, so he got moved back on development already.
Yep, and the only other thing... He does have that skink that's movement 9. I do like that. So... Obviously, you keep the team. You're just a little behind the curve, and you can make that up in your next, couple games. Normally, I would say you can make that up in the Open Invitational and to go into it, but we don't have one this season.
Might actually play safer the first few games so that the SPP can come in and you don't lose anybody else, because you might spiral out of control if you lose like 1 or 2 more Saurus.
Oh yeah, he loses another block Mighty Blow Saurus or something like that, or the block Dodge Saurus. It's gonna be a really bad rebuild time. So
yeah,
I would just have those 2 doing most of your punching with 3 dice, and work your way back up to getting skill points. I mean, 1 MVP and skilled up, or 2 kills. So you can make that up. Let's take a look at Draktar's squad here real quick. For an orc team, it looks fairly well. The Blitzer, you're gonna have to at some point cut him. That movement and edge bust, I assume you don't want hanging around. So
yeah, just cut him at the end of the season right now, I think.
Yeah, might be a good time.
You already have another tackle guy, you already have some other...
You've got 2 guard. Yeah, I think, he'll still have 3 guard pieces, so that might be a good time. The other guy, the Blitzer, what's the Blitzer? What's he got? Oof, a niggled Blitzer.
That's okay. It's AV9. You probably will protect him so he's not on the ground to be fouled.
Yeah, good point.
That means he probably doesn't get pile-on just because you don't want him on the ground.
Yeah, that's true. Very good point.
But he's still a fine player. That Goblin is kind of a weird build. Yeah. Maybe restart him.
Well, without a troll, I don't know why you need a Goblin. I mean, for me, I get rid of the Goblin and I just carry with one of the other Blitzers.
In my division, the team who won my division is an Orc team, and he actually plays with a Goblin and a Troll. Yeah, so maybe there would be a build for the future of this team.
Yeah, but he got easy victories by playing chumps like you, Charles. So
he got a draw out of me, so maybe there's some other chumps he could beat. He didn't beat me yet.
Oh, he didn't. Alright. I like the Strength 5 orc, Black Orc, though. That's nice.
Oh, yeah, and he's almost getting his block.
Yeah, 1 more casualty, and he'll get that, and then he'll be a terror.
Would you get Mighty Blow or Guard and then stand firm?
I play safe. I take block, and then I would take Mighty Blow, and I would just drop hammers on people. But that's me, but everybody's different.
I would go block and then stand firm or guard, depending on how much guard they have.
Yeah, I just
And
use him
then
like a
get the
troll.
other-
He's basically a troll at that point.
Yes, but he's a troll that you can control. Actually,
Yeah.
he's not very dumb.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at Sterling Hornets here. What they got going on? Other than those ugly uniforms, you should re-roll on principle alone.
The Blitzers, as we talked about, they are pretty great right out the box, and they get a bit better with some skills. So I think the Blitzer situation is nice.
Yeah, a little.
Then
bit
he has
weird.
some Neagles, which are problematic.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just a missed next game for that thrower there. The catcher, what's this catcher got? This was a nice piece at one time. Ooh, that catcher with Niggle. And he's got Wrestle, so he's gonna be on the ground. Ooh.
And he actually has another catcher with an eagle.
If I seen that catcher on the
So-
ground, that's all I would do is step on his head. So.
So he's already building Pyto with the same build as Orion.
Okay.
So I imagine when Pyto gets another level up, maybe that's the end of Orion's career because he is a liability with that AV7 and an eagle.
Yep, that makes sense.
And the team is pretty trim, and at the same time, it's a good team. So maybe you hope for a less bashy division. Maybe you play a bit safer because, as we saw, giving up 46 blocks against dwarfs
Yeah.
is a problem. I know it happens. It happened to me this season, but because the guy was so good, he kept surrounding my team.
Yeah.
But that's not good. You don't want that to happen ever.
All right. So you say keep this team?
Keep this team, play safe. You're gonna have a wide team, which is nice as elves, so you don't put all your chips on one basket.
Yep.
Is that the way you say it?
Sort
I
of.
don't know.
That's good enough. Eggs in one basket. And chips in one basket.
Okay.
Works as well. Alright, let's take a look at the dwarf team, the Beer Brawl Club. Now, dwarves always kind of develop slow. I know everybody hates dwarves just because they're so sturdy, but it takes them a while to get really going. You've got guard on everything. I really like that. You've got a nice stand firm for your troll slayer so he can push people out of bounds.
And stay on the ground on the field.
This is definitely a team you keep. I don't see a reason not to. The movement on the Longbeard is an interesting choice. I don't know.
Wouldn't you go Juggernaut on that Rose layer that's about to level up? Because then you can push off the pitch people that have stand firm, and that makes everyone have to play on a smaller pitch against dwarfs, which is exactly what they want.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea. After Mighty Blow, I've never really got a Troll Slayer past Mighty Blow. Because I just like to surf people with them. So I like to stand firm. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. I'm sure there are better
On
dwarf coaches out there that would know more than me. This runner, you gotta get this guy leveled though, or get an MVP on him. Although Loki's a good runner for you, so he's got block dodge, so that's really a good runner. I just don't see any stat ups yet, except for this long beard with movement, which I think that movement's kind of bloat because where's he gonna?
Yes,
One
the
extra
movement is
square. Where's he
bloat.
going?
Yeah, because nobody's gonna be able to catch up to him, so he's probably not gonna use all of his movement anyway.
Yeah, I guess he could blitz out of the cage to one square further ahead, but I don't. That's an interesting choice. We'll see where he goes, but he's got plenty of guard. He's got a nice jump up blitzer here, so everything's working for him. I definitely keep this team. Let's take a look at the Bogue Bombers here. Now, this is a team you should get
The
rid
champions.
of. Well, you should just get rid of this team because you don't have anything to prove, and you picked the wrong uniform. So clearly, you get rid of these.
We
teams.
just talked about them. The ogre is the liability. He's
Yeah.
probably gonna get a top division, or at least higher than most people.
Yeah.
So if the ogres start dying, he might as well maybe not even use an ogre anymore.
Yeah. So I think this is a fine team for humans. I mean, it's got well-rounded development. Everything's ready. But your next division, it depends on where they seed you, because you've won this division. You're going to get seeded a little higher than everybody else. And if you get into one of those killy divisions, it's going to be ugly. But if you get into one of those killy divisions and they can't catch you and you just pass over everybody, it'll be fine. So...
Yeah, he really wants an edge up on maybe one of those catchers to have this team actually be great on later TV, because right now it's a good team, but it's very fair in the way they play.
Yeah,
they don't do any kind of bullshit. They don't bash you off the pitch. They're just solid, and solid sometimes is not enough.
I think if he meets another Dark Elf team around this TV, he's going to struggle.
Yes.
With only that.
It's a
one
bad
move
matchup.
That's a bad matchup, and then we'll see how it goes. It's gonna be interesting for him. But no, he won the division. Keep going. You don't want to stop now. You might have something.
Yeah, don't listen to us. We
Don't
didn't
listen to
win
me.
our divisions.
Yeah. I can't. I can't. I can barely get myself out of last place.
Well, he doesn't even watch it, so he's not gonna listen
Yeah,
anyway.
he's not gonna care. Sweet Teeth Forever. Let's take a look at this team. Werewolf restart. You got the block dodge combo going here. Let's see what this injury is.
Oh, the
movement.
movement.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's a bummer on a block dodge piece. You keep
Since
that.
he only
You keep that until you get your other werewolf developed for sure. But
yes,
that's definitely gonna slow you down. You're not gonna be able to do those pitch, where you change directions and come back this side. Flesh columns.
and since he only rode normals, you are not really that sad to have to cut him at some point. You just have to.
Isn't dodge a double for them, or the edge? I can't remember.
I think they are edgy and normals, and then they have to roll doubles to be killers.
Oh, for strength. Strength, okay. Because everybody wants Mighty Blow on a werewolf.
Yes,
Yeah,
you really want a Mighty Blow Claw, but you need the doubles.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
This team's
I'm
okay.
not sure now.
His ghoul. He's got sure hands. Looks like he's missing
Great
a few
ghoul.
ghouls, but
Yeah.
I mean the team looks fine. You'll do okay in the next division. I think if I go into at the end of my first season with the team, after all of that, if I don't have any like stat ups or super doubles, I cut the team and start over. But you're more than welcome to keep struggling along with it and hope for something.
Well,
good.
actually, I would say Necro is one of the better teams in terms of not needing crazy level ups because
Okay.
it's already a very strong team and they are cost effective.
Okay.
What I will say is that he didn't pay the golem tax. What people usually say that playing Necro you have to drop at least one golem a season,
Yeah.
and his golems are looking great, so it's
one's
an
gonna die
amazing
next
season for them.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to bring in bad luck, but
There was
that's
that,
what happens normally in Rebbl. So
There was that one season I had where I killed the guy's flesh golem like in our third game of the season, and then because we were in one of those weird divisions where you had to play each other again, I killed his other golem at the end of the season. And I thought, oh, there is a golem tax going on, or a flesh tax.
Yes.
So there's definitely something to that flesh, and I think it's just because they stand there and they don't move, and they just
Right.
they're waiting for another hit, and so they're just in the line of fire so often. But yeah, definitely need some more ghouls on this team if you're gonna keep going. I think. Let's take a look. Who do we got? That was Sweet Teeth. Cheese Thieves. Let's take a quick look at this team.
Looking great right now. Never looked better
Yeah.
at this season.
This is a team you keep. I mean, you came back from your worst. I mean, when you only had a handful of players, you kept
What
your
a
better
turnaround.
runners, and that was quite a turnaround. So yeah, you don't get rid of this team.
Yeah.
We don't even have to argue with that. Other than your ugly uniforms, you're fine, and you still don't have a team motto. Jeez, what's wrong with you, son?
He has a single bench player, is that right? Maybe getting another one would be cool if the division is bashier.
Yeah.
Other than that,
very-
he has a sacker, he has a one-turner,
Yep.
he has some kind of great ball carrier, blitzer guy,
All the tools for
and
season
some
2.
killers coming on. That's
Get some dirty players on there. You'll be fine.
Yes.
Let's take a look at Commanders in Grief, the best looking team in the division. Very average looking in their build. They got an edge forward lineman. Now I don't know what you're gonna do with that. Is maybe your ball carrier. Is this lineman here? Was he nickel? No, missed next game. It would be fun to give Richard Niggle a niggle.
an eagle, yeah.
What about this Black Orc? What's he got? Missed next game, so he's fine. Yeah, you're gonna be fine. Season 2. Black Orcs are still a pretty good team in their second season. You'll be able to push people around. You just want to get something interesting, and so far the only thing interesting is like your edge lineman, but that's kind of boring. It's just an edge lineman. Andrew Smackson's a killer. That's the team.
Oh yeah.
You lose him, I think the team fades away. But unless you can get this other blitzer up there, but I don't know. I mean, if it was me, I would cut the team just because I get bored when I don't have any stat freaks or any crazy things that can go. Ooh, nobody can stop this. Like Jericho Peppers has his 2 of his unstoppable gutter runners, so you want to keep those around. But
yeah, but then if that's the philosophy, you're gonna lose one of them, and then you're gonna reroll again.
Right. I'm just thinking if I was the coach of this Commanders in Grief team, I'd be going into my second season with stiffer competition, and my only real tool is Andrew Smaxon, because everybody else on here is just kind of bleh, nothing exciting. But I mean, you can do it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You get a good 3 seasons out of Orcs before you hit like the Claw Terror teams. So you've got time. It's just I don't see anybody here that's gonna amaze the crowd. All right, let's take a look at Rand the Mad. Bring out your undead. I hate Kemri, but he's got everything here that he needs to go into the next. I mean, you've got so much strength on these teams that it's easy to go into your second season and just crush people. He does have a throw row with strength 4, so that's a nice piece. And
he has a blitz row almost leveling up.
Yeah, this is definitely a team to keep then. The throw row with movement 7 and block dodge, that's a nice piece. So he's got all the tools he needs. That's amazing. The only thing he's not got yet is a Tomb Guardian with block, but he's got plenty of guard, so they can protect each other.
And he can kind of make up for it by picking some stand firm if he doesn't get those doubles.
Yeah.
It kind of, with strength 5 and stand firm, it kind of works like if you have block. Not really, but you get what I mean.
Yeah, well, when
you can still
guard,
be a roadblock.
When you got guard next to and you keep those 2 Tomb Guardians moving with each other around the field, it's nearly impossible to get them off their feet. Yeah, so that's definitely a team you keep. The rest of them are admin teams, which, yeah, you don't gotta keep the admin teams. All right.
And by the way, it's good news that people answering the poll, they seem to all be keeping their teams. That's pretty great to hear. Will be nice to see you guys next season.
Yeah, hopefully you're not in my division. Hopefully you're in Charles' division and you go take care of business and kill Charles.
No, it's gonna be a while until they get there, but hopefully not.
Well, no, I'm thinking you drop down 2 divisions, don't you?
Oh,
I talked Yeah, I talked to the administrators. They're tired of your nonsense.
I mean, I would be happy to do it.
You would. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. We'll come back with our next segment. And welcome back to Friday Night Fights. This is our Pound for Pound series. We take a look at the leaderboard, and this should be the final leaderboard of the division. Has everybody played their games, Charles? I haven't even looked.
Yes.
Okay, so everybody has played their game.
The 2 teams that dropped out are gonna face each other. I don't know how they solve it, but for the people who are playing, everyone played. Yeah.
All right, let's take a look here. Top of the division, obviously, Bogue Bombers. Then bring out your undead. That was a good team at the beginning. They kind of had a little slump there, and then they just kept piling in the wins and got to second place.
Completely deserved. I think they had a great season. The coaching was kind of impressive. I think there's much to learn by watching those games.
Yeah,
and they got it.
I'm really impressed.
They are on the Challenger Cup.
The Cheese Thieves, so close. They were right there at the end. I mean, they struggled the most, I would say. They went from like on top and impressing everybody to just wrecked, and then back to impressing everybody. So that was nice. Third place win for them. Along with, this is a really tight race up here. Really 30 points to 25 points. It's only 5 points that separates them. And then from second to fifth, it's only 1 win that separated everybody pretty much. That's amazing. So Days of Confused, Mass Bolts, Commanders in Grief. Oh, Commanders in Grief. I had you guys pegged for winning the whole division. You guys.
Oh, the Hornets are down there as well.
Well, the Hornets are below Commanders in Grief, so I beat you, Charles. That's all that counts.
Yeah.
Sweet Teeth, Bavarian. Bavarian, I would say, man, you guys, what's going on here? You guys should have been doing a little better than that. Draktar Squad, Beer Brawl Club, Grumblegok, and then Scott Pop Scavens. So I'm surprised the Gorgers got 3 wins. That's kind of nice. Were those 2 admin wins and then 1 regular win, or was it 1 admin win, 2 regular wins?
I think he beat the Skapops Cavens back when he was still playing.
Oh, good for him. Yeah.
I can't confirm, but I think that's what happened.
Yeah, good for him. So that's probably your overall finish on how the division's going to look. Nice touchdown differential here. So yeah, I think overall that was a really good season for everybody. Those of you that are at the bottom, Scott Pop Scavens, obviously they're re-rolling or they've quit the entire league. I don't know. Grumblegok, you're an ogre. You got to expect to be at the bottom, but 3 wins, that's actually impressive. Dwarfs, you got to get your act together here. 3 wins. I should start tying people up.
But he is one of the youngest coaches on the whole division
Okay.
in terms of Blood Bowl experience. He's actually learning with a good team to learn the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good team for positioning.
And next season they're gonna do better.
Okay. Awesome. So, all right, Charles. Who do we have for the week's heavy hitter from the games that were played?
Yes, we got the Storm Vermin from the Cheese Thieves, Parmigiano Reggiano.
Okay.
He got 1 touchdown, 3 KOs. He leveled up and got the great pylon.
Yeah.
So he's gonna start being disgusting next season.
Yep. All right. Yeah.
And then we got Mr. Hyde, the Troll Slayer, getting 2 injuries and 1 KO for that dwarf team.
Yeah. Nice pickup there too. So that dwarf is now with Mighty Blow. He's just gonna start wrecking people. That's obviously his job. And he's 3 points away from getting his next level. I might give him a touchdown if you in your first couple of games. See if you can feed him a touchdown. All right. So
Yeah, it's not easy, but would be good to level him up.
You know, it's 4 up, 75% with a reroll, so it's not that hard.
But getting him next to the end zone is difficult.
That's true.
Unless you are just bashing the guy to hell, but then you should absolutely do it.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so that was our heavy hitter segment, Charles. Now we're gonna have some special awards here for everybody. Charles has gone through, looked at awards, who he thinks did what. Charles, do you have up next your end of the season heavy hitter for the entire season?
Oh yes. First of all, I would like to thank Jovisek once more for the stats, and to thank everyone that listened to that answered our
poll. Yeah.
That helped choose some of these awards.
Yep.
Then for the heavy hitters for the whole season, best players of the season, we decided not to go with just one because the format has been choosing 2 best players.
Okay.
We got Paneer with 15 touchdowns scored on his 13 games, 12 games, because one of them is a bye week. And then we got, of course, Andrews Maxon with 3 kills, 7 KOs, and 8 casualties to his name.
Yeah, I think that seems about right, because, I mean, every week it seems like one of these 2 players was in there. And
right.
It just seems like they were in there the most, so that makes sense. They
Paneer is scoring more than 1 touchdown per game, and Andrew Jackson is removing almost 2 players per game, so it's undeniable that these guys are heavy hitters.
What kind of sucks about this is that Paneer has scored more touchdowns than my team has all season. Andrew Maxon is getting more removals, casualties than my whole team has all season. So that's amazing. Just amazing. All right. And what is your next award, Charles, for the Glass Jaw?
Oh, we got a team award, a consolation prize for the Sterling Hornets for taking the most casualties in the season, 41 of them to be precise, and they're still hanging in there. They seem to be like they're gonna be here next season.
Yeah, they took a beating and got back up and kept going. But
yeah, and they finished in a respectable position.
Absolutely.
They started very strong and went down as the damage started to pile on. So maybe next season he doesn't suffer as much damage and remains strong for the whole season.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. All right, congratulations, I guess. I don't know. All right, Charles, who do we have up for our next award for the Technician Award?
We got the high-flying mass boats who completed 18 passes during the season, doing some flashy moves and all that, and actually almost got into the Challenger Cup. Could have been a champion. Didn't happen, but maybe next season.
Yeah, it could have been a contender. It was really close. Good job. All right, and who do we have up for best defense?
Oh yeah, we got those Nurgle teams only conceding 6 touchdowns in the whole season. That's pretty impressive.
So best defense goes to Dazed and Confused. They only gave up 6 touchdowns. Well done. Although, boo, Nurgle, everybody hates you.
Yeah, boo Nurgle, reroll please.
Reroll.
Save everybody from
Reroll,
from the
please.
apocalypse.
I've got a bad feeling he's going to be in my division next season, and I'm just going to get.
Oh my god, and he's gonna crush us
Oh, he's
with
going to crush
claws
me,
and
not you. He's going to work his way
dirty
to you
players.
later. And then you'll retire by the time he gets to you. Oof. this is gonna be
Yes.
bad. Yes. All right.
I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. All right. Who do you have up for your Brawler Award, and what is the Brawler Award?
Oh, it's the team that caused the most damage. They didn't win the most games, but they certainly caused the most mayhem,
Okay.
which is the Ogres, Grumble, Grok, Gorgers,
Crumblegot
who
Gorgers.
inflicted 38 injuries
38
during this
injuries.
season.
That's amazing. Nice.
Oh yeah.
That-
Some
that-
of those are killing their own players, but we count that.
Yeah, we
Nuffle
count
is
that.
always happy with some damage.
Oh, somebody's dead. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah, it seems like it would be easy when you have 6, Mighty Blow, Strength 5 pieces on the field. But they're always stupid,
Yeah.
so it's interesting. I guess
But they're
they're just punchy.
and then you have some very weak players that you can use to foul as
Yeah.
well, and you can use them as bullets. So
Yeah,
all good.
all good. Well done. Coach, who do you have up for your Fair Play Award, and what is that exactly?
Oh yeah, this is the coach that seems to be the most beloved one, and I would say this is actually the most important prize because we don't make money on Rebbl. We actually are here just to have fun and possibly make some friends, and it seems like most people love Jericho Peppers.
Jericho Peppers
Congratulations.
gets the Fair Play Award. I'm not sure why you put pictures of women here, but okay, Charles. Maybe you know something.
Well-
I don't know. Hey, I don't know nothing.
Gender is a construct.
You're a construct. Also,
Okay.
what do you say? Nobody gets paid in Rebbl. We make millions off this broadcast.
Oh yeah,
deal we've signed,
except
Charles.
for us. Except for us, yes.
Yeah, you should clarify that the players and coaches don't make money on Rebbl.
Yeah,
we do, 'cause
normal
we're
people.
huge broadcasters. We're just rolling.
Yes,
in
the
money.
normal people don't make money.
Yeah, the
we do.
regular people don't. All right, good point.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations, Jericho Peppers, being a nice guy. Who do you have for Scariest Award, and what is that?
Of course, we got the Nurgle team. This is the team that nobody wants to face ever again if they can help it.
And that was
So-
voted on by everybody in the division. People who
Yeah,
don't want
so
to face
congratulations, Acropolis, on scaring everyone else.
and the broadcast hosts. We don't want to face you either.
Oh yeah,
Ugh, I
that
do
guy's
not-
scary.
Yeah,
I
look
don't
forward
want
to that team.
any of
I
that.
don't want any of that team. Good point. All right. And who do you have up for best coach for the entire season?
It's again the champion gets it. B-Dog. I try to phrase these questions in a way that people don't just pick the champion, but I guess congratulations to the champ.
Yeah, I guess you can't say that. There's no award for like best lucky noob. So you won. I mean, you made it. Your peers voted on it. So you did it. Congratulations, B-Dog,
Yeah.
if you're listening to this episode. Well
He
done.
gets the recognition by the rest of the division as the best, so the best won.
The best did win. All right, this show, we got about 5 minutes left. Congratulations to all the winners. Hopefully everybody else sticks around, comes back for season 2. Why don't we take a quick commercial break? We'll come back and we'll go to our final thoughts of the season. And welcome back to the last edition of Friday Night Fights for season 11. Charles, any news around Rebbl?
Playoffs are about to start. Follow every streamer. Look into Rebbl.net. They have the schedule. I think everyone's putting the time of days when the games are happening. So let's have fun watching the real good coaches do their thing.
Yeah, and keep an eye on the guy who won your division, see how he does. Charles, what
Right.
division are you in? I can't remember.
I'm on 2B,
2B. All right, let me take a look at your team real quick.
8th place.
Yeah, 8th place.
I was the draw champ in the whole division.
Okay.
Nobody drew more than me.
Oh, nice.
So
So you had a pretty good view. I mean, in European soccer, a tie is looked at as being good because you didn't lose. But here in America, we
Yes.
always look at a tie as a loss, so it's kind of a weird.
I feel
thing.
like the Raging Bull character hanging onto the ropes
Yeah.
and saying, "Nobody beats me."
Nobody beat you. Huh? Oh, 3 people beat you, but still.
I didn't go down.
Yeah. How's your team looking? Looks like your witch
Oh, I
elf's
got
got.
a...
What she got? Movement bust. Oof.
Yeah,
That edge 5 is hard to get rid of, though. That's like a drug. Oof.
It absolutely sucks, yeah, but she stays on the team. She's a legend.
Yeah,
she
absolutely.
has been here since the very first game.
So is the
So-
team sticking around for another season? Are you coming back?
I'm deciding on it, yeah, still, because it's been 3 seasons of... I actually look into and count the amount of Mighty Blow, the amount of piling on, and it's been 3 seasons that I've been on some of the top kill divisions. So I would like to... I look up, I look down, and I see 4 elf divisions, 4 elves and a red division, halflings. I want to be in some of that, you know.
Well, you lost. I mean, you've only got 3 wins, and your team's down to 1450. So I assume you're going to drop down at least 1 or 2 divisions. So it should be fine.
Depends on how many
rerolls?
people reroll.
There will
Yeah,
be a
I
ton
might
of
even
rerolls
go up
again. No, I bet there'll be
Yeah.
a ton of rerolls. So, I would say stay. But I know Charles doesn't like to play against the high level bash teams, just that wreck your team.
Yeah, I think it breaks the game, honestly. I think there's a bunch of strategies that don't work because of those high-level bombers.
All right. Now
And I also like to win, because
Okay.
last 2 seasons have not been that many.
So I hate to win, so I'm fine. Let me take a look at my team real quick. Now, of course, this is the best-looking team of all of Rebbl. Look at these glorious uniforms. The orange, the blue, the way it highlights. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, anyway. This team is coming along quite nicely, Charles. I finished with no
How about
major
those strength
injuries.
ups?
Well, I kept the 1 strength up on the bull and 1 strength up on the blocker. I got claw. I got
Nice.
jump up. I rolled jump up early. I kind of wish I would have not rolled a double, but I had to take it. You can't pass that up. So it's all coming along really nice. How did I finish in the division? I don't remember. I'm like right in the middle of the pack. Let me see here. Leaderboard. 7th out of 14. Yeah. So. Right
you
in the
got
middle.
6 wins, that's nice.
6 wins, 4 draws. Oh, I got 4 draws, 10. Okay, and then 3 losses. So only 3 losses, and those losses were against like some of the powerhouses in the division. And thankfully, against the Dark Elf team in our division, I tied him when he was leading the division, and it kind of slowed his momentum, and then he knocked him out of first place. So.
My God, you guys destroyed the Skaven teams. The red
Yes, that's true.
Skaven, Underworld on the last 3 spots, and then a Dark Elf on 4th worst. You guys destroyed everyone who was weak.
Yeah, the weak did not survive this division. That is for
My
sure.
God.
So for me, I'm definitely gonna come back. I'm sure I'm gonna move up a few notches. I don't know where. With the new way they format the divisions, you never know. So maybe I only
You're
move
gonna
up
be-
1 spot.
Yeah, you're gonna feel pretty happy about the new style, because if it was on the old way of
Yeah.
making divisions, they will look at those strength ups, they will look at, it's
yeah.
a chart team,
Yep, and
and
put
they
them in
would
Division 2.
purposefully put 2 up into a high division,
Okay.
and now you're protected from that, so you're gonna get
I like to hear
a
that.
fair division again.
Oh,
yeah.
thank goodness. Oh, I'm so excited about that. So I'm definitely going to stay around. Any other news around Rebbl? I don't think so. There's no off-season this season. They didn't have an off-season thing. So it's going to be like 4 to 6 weeks before the season picks up. Just
Yes.
keep a lookout on the Reddit thread, and Rebbl.net will open back up where you schedule, you sign back up with your team and hit confirm for the next season. And
I believe it's already open, actually,
well, there
and
you
it seems to go up until the start of next month, I believe,
awesome.
like the 8th or something.
Yeah, cool. So other than that, hope to see you guys around. I don't know who you guys are gonna get for your recap team. Hopefully anybody's better than us.
Yes.
Any other parting words, Charles?
I would like to thank these guys. I think the people who did watch it were very engaged and very complimentary of our work. And so I'd like to thank you guys back for giving us a great season.
Yeah, and we hope we made your introductory season into Rebbl a fun one. hope it helps you guys to stick around because we definitely need more players. What are we up
And
to,
hopes-
like 600 coaches in Rebbl or something? I mean, there's a ton of coaches, so
Yes.
stay, have fun. Hopefully it's a good one. And then also, if I can do this and Charles can do this, you guys can do this. So start your own. If you want to become a broadcaster, there's a channel for that. If you want to start picking up on how to do it, I think I created a basic intro video on it. And like, just find somebody who knows the game better than you. Like, I don't know the game very well, but Charles does, so I rely on him. And Charles doesn't know how to make his team look good, so he relies on me. So it worked out
Yes.
fine. All right, cool. It's been good working with you this season, Charles, and we're still in clan, so I'm gonna see you around.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you guys, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.